Welcome back to the News at 10. It's been 1 year and 5 months since the displaced people of Bakassi South sought shelter at the St. Mark's Primary and Secondary School, Akwabuyo local government area of Cross River State, awaiting their permanent rehabilitation by the federal government. 17 months and still counting, it's unclear when the displaced people will be rehabilitated. Committees upon committees have been set up to look into their proper settlement, but there still seems to be no headway. Our community report tonight takes us to the camp that has played host to the displaced since the 5th of March 2013 and how they've been coping.
Showers of blessing this may be for most, but for the over 400 Bakassi community members living in this resettlement center in Cross River State, theirs is one that sees their fate dripping into buckets of uncertainty. Sitting with dejected looks, all they can do is wait until the pummeling rain decides to stop. And when it subsides, the only activity for the older ones is educating the younger generation who might someday become voices of rescue. But this has its own burden.
Their performance will have been up to the average, but based on the poor teaching and learning condition, as you can see, they cannot be able to display their full potentials. Some of them do not have writing materials, and they are pairing about 3, 4 in the bench, in the decks, in school decks. Meanwhile, in normal academic environment, supposed to be 2.
This little girl vividly recalls the happenings that brought them here.
We came here on 23 March when the gendarmes sent us away from our land. They sent us away from there. And we will suffer, our parents will all suffer, and we look for a way. One person just saw us as we were running. The person just tell us the place down here to Akwa Ikote, and we will be able to be here. And from there, the government start to hear about us, and they start to give us things.
As this man put it, there is a future danger if the present issue is not addressed urgently.
It is a great implication because this our youth will not keep quiet when you saying that your ancestral home that have been handed over to the another people. Even our home have been built, the refinery now. They destroy our house. Even the grave of our great-grandfather become the refinery, which another people be able to benefit it. It is if government have not urgent to see how to calm down some youth, the time the youth will rise, they will call them, I don't know how they will call them, maybe they will call them Boko Haram, or they will call them Boko Haram, or they call them militants.
The elderly are not left out of the picture, as they too have needs.
Yeah, no, get also because I'm born by fire. Yeah, I don't get anything from my house.
However, time is not on their side, as the vice principal of the school-turned resettlement center wants them out.
According to the Green Tree Agreement, they were to settle them long before this time, but up to now, nothing has been done. That still remain here in a home that is not a home safe. If they can give me 6 months, I can give them. The government should build, settle them, please, and give me the place to train my students.
Fate is said to be the development of events outside a person's control, and these children certainly did not ask for this. How their future turns out in the end, good or bad, is in the hands of those who can do the right thing now.
An update on the doctor strike in Nigeria. The Nigerian Medical Association says there's no going back on its ongoing strike action unless the federal government accedes to their demands. This warning was sounded by the chairman of the Lagos State chapter of the association, Dr. W.H.O. At a press conference in Lagos, he listed the demands of the association has reached in the last emergency delegates meeting. He, however, said Nigerian doctors are willing to attend to Ebola victims just as they are attending to victims of Boko Haram attacks in the northern parts of the country. Meanwhile, with the increase of the spread of the Ebola disease, the Kaduna State branch of the Nigerian Medical Association has asked the federal government to review the hazard allowance and insurance cover for health personnel. At a meeting in Kaduna, the chairman, Dr. Mohammed Ibrahim, insists that health workers stand more risk of contracting the virus while asking governments to equip the hospitals. Meanwhile, in Delta State, the government says though there are no cases of Ebola in the state, they've set up isolation centers just in case of any emergency.
It's a month since the Ebola virus disease found its way into the shores of the country. While most of the affected seems to be found in Lagos, other states have no case presently, but they are gearing up for any eventualities. In Delta State, the government has already put up precautionary measures such as setting up isolation centers.
In order to avoid the loss of lives and reduce the economic impact of the probable outbreak, coupled with the fact that Nigerians in general and Deltans in particular are widely traveled, the Delta State government has put into operation the following activities through interventions in the state. The state rapid response team has been enlarged and strengthened, while the local government rapid response team have been reactivated. Personal protective equipment have been earlier pre-positioned in the 25 local government headquarters in readiness for any possible outbreak.
It's a similar scenario in the northern part of the country, but they take a different approach, such as in Kaduna State. Here, medical personnel is raising an alarm over the level of preparedness.
The main fallback is for the health worker, for the medical workers, the medical doctors especially, who I'm seeking for here, and then for other health workers, is the hazard allowance. The federal government should be able to give you life insurance as a medical doctor, particularly in such emergency cases. But it's interesting to know also that the hazard allowance in this particular case is 5,000. And that is one of the problems that we have. So in terms of satisfaction, we are really not satisfied, and I think we've stated that clearly. And even in terms of preparedness, if you go into the hospitals, how many hospitals have the protective suits? So we are calling on the government also to ensure that all this equipment, personal protective equipment, are made available in all our hospitals.
Some states seem to be ready while others are not. But with the urgency of the situation required, all hands must be on deck, whether private, public, or even individuals. Everyone must be ready to wage a war against the Ebola virus across the country.
And now to the arts. The Dance of the Forest was performed at the Terraculture Lagos in honor of Nobel laureate Professor W.H.O. The Crown Troupe of Africa used lots of songs, dance, and dialogue to tell this tale, which was performed during Nigeria's independence celebrations.
The type that will drive men to madness and self-destruction. What do you mean?
The Dance of the Forest, written in 1960 during Nigeria's independence and was staged as part of the celebration for Professor W.H.O. by the Crown Troupe of Africa. A better understanding of the Yoruba culture gives one a clear sense of what this play is all about, which encourages everyone to learn from past mistakes and avoid repeating them.
Oh, they made amusing companions, but it was their latent violence which frightened me the most. I don't know what I would have done if it involved me. They appear tame enough now. So tame. So tame, in fact. I could send them home. But they forget too easily. They have no suspicion of you. No, only uncertainty.
For the first time it was staged, it ruffled many feathers, especially the elite who figured Soyinka was indirectly throwing darts at them. But the crowd here are just out to enjoy themselves. So they take the lessons and there's no hard feelings.
I thought that at this period in time, just like Dance of the Forests, you know, the role it played when it was written is just for the nation. This national mirror, let us look at ourselves, let us look at our mirrors and see what if we can reevaluate ourselves. The play already is depressing in the sense that it's about futility, that nothing is going to change.
And the Crown Troupe interprets this play in their own unique style, using lots of songs and dance. The setting is simple, bare and black, but the lighting is a bit colorful, depicting the mood of each scene.
I would rather not watch my body dissolve like an alloy. There must be after death.
Happier death? Like what?
Yes, go on. Tell us, what kind of death would you prefer? A fall from a great height. Why? Why? Yes, why? Because I know what it is. I have seen it happen.
The costume is also quite impressive, but considering the technicality of this play, the director, Segun Adefila, would probably have loved to raise the bar, so he takes another approach to the play, bringing it to contemporary times.
When I read it again, I was like, number one, I was amazed. How could a Wole Soyinka write this at the age of 26? The imagery and all of those things. But it says, what he's talking about is just this continuous circle that, Fela said a lot of things. Fela is gone. My name is Segun Adefila. I want to start talking now. When are we going to start singing love songs? When are we going to write, paints? When are we going to talk about beautiful things? That, Nigeria is a beautiful place. We are enjoying. Everything is smooth for us. When are we going to stop singing corruption, there's evil, there's this, there's that?
He also has actors who are challenged to drive this message home.
Taking up that role wasn't really easy for me. I had to go through a whole lot of studying people, getting to find out some things, do some questioning, do some researches. But I don't think it was really my best, but I really appreciate the little I was able to do.
And that's why they chose this play, written when Professor Wole Soyinka was just 26 years old.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Iraqi Kurds are asked for more arms to fight rebels. Please stay with us.